have finished reading The Strength of the Few by James Islington, and this is a no spoiler review of this book. Let's chat about it. Straight off the bat, I want to say that this is a 4.5-star book for me. The Will of the Many was a 6-star book for me. It had smashed through my 5-star rating because I absolutely loved it. But the Strength of the Few, I felt like fell a little bit short compared to how I felt in Will of the Many. And the main reason being because of the world building that was going on, there was just too much thrown at us compared to how it was in the Will of the Many. We had one goal, they had to work against these oppressors, and that was the goal that Wiz had throughout the book. In The Strength of the Few, because we are so divided in these three different realms, there was just too much world building going on in the three different realms. Even in Res, which was the predominant world that we started off with Viz, I feel like that world also had just way too many changes and didn't line up with what Viz stood for right from the beginning. In book one, I was just rooting for Wiz right from the first page. I loved his character so much. I loved what he stood for. I loved how he was fighting for his own rights and what was important to him. And I think that kind of went away in book two. I felt like he let go of a lot of his principles in book two for various reasons, and that just didn't line up to the character that I knew Wiz as. Sure, this is book two in a 4-book series, so there are 2 more books coming, and that's why we needed the world building. But I also felt like the first book was a lot tighter than the second book. I felt like the second book was just a little bit all over the place in the first 50% of the book. It did get a lot tighter as we moved towards the second half of the book, but the first half of the book just felt like I was drinking out of a fire hose. And it was just too much information coming at me during that time. So that's one of the problems I had with the first half of the book. I really enjoyed the second half of the book. I loved where we were going. There are so many characters, plot twists that I could not see coming. There are things that happened I loved and I hated and I cried all at the same time because I was just so invested. So I really, really enjoyed the second half of the book, and majority of my rating is for that second half because I loved how that second half came about. There are still questions I have, there are still concerns I have about it,